Welcome to this video in which I'm going to give you a quick tour of how to connect an IMV25 from Foxboro and an ABB267 on the same bus and get those working. So first of all, let's look at how we're set up in the XFC. We go to applications and you can see I have an XMV interface set up at 41. We'll definitely need to have that there. And notice also I have two AGA measurement tubes turned on. I do have two XMVs on board, and I'll want to point those to each of those measurement tubes. Okay, so with that said, we've got the XFCG4 set up properly with the applications we need. So let's take a look into the XMV interface. So first thing we see in the XMV interface is, let's go to our communications section. And notice we need to have a number 2 here because we have two different XMVs, XMV 1 and 2. And here's our communication setup that we're going to need for the ABB and the Foxboro to work together. 16-bit word swapped, and these are the parameters we need. Okay? Now to set up each one of them, we can go to XMV setup, make sure only one is powered at a time, pick the one from the pull down list that you're talking to. In this instance, I know that Modbus address 2 is the ABB. So the first one we have, slave address 1, is going to be the Foxboro. So let me go ahead and show you how this setup works. You actually pick Foxboro here, IMV25, and we'll make our selections here. Now we know that Foxboro is 1, but say we didn't know that, we could put a 0 here and force it to 1, and then we'll go ahead and check these other setup boxes. And we'll do a send. And it sent down all the parameters. Now let's move to the ABB, and we'll do the same thing here. 0, and then we know this we want to be 2. This is slave address 2, and we'll go ahead and set these boxes and do a send, and we'll watch our activity here at the bottom of the screen. Looks like it is writing properly to them. In progress, everything looked good there. Now that we know that we're communicating to our COM2, let's go into our XMV interface and make sure those are set up properly. So first we'll pick XMV1, Foxboro. And these are the settings we need to make this work. We don't have a display on this particular Foxboro, so we'll disable display scroll. So once these are set up, it should start working. Very important, scan enabled is checked or is selected. Values. Here we go. We have a success. That's what you want to see if everything is working fine. Here's our values for differential pressure, static pressure, and temperature that are coming through from the transducer. Okay, let's do the same thing with XMV2. Let's look at the setup. Modbus slave address 2, 401, metric, those are the settings we're going to need. We do have a display on the ABB, so we are going to enable that. Same thing here, let's go to values. Let's do a reread. And notice here's our values coming in from the transducer. Now that everything's coming in just fine to the XMV interface, and we can do that, we can actually look at that. And we can see that we're getting everything in just fine. The last step we need to perform is to actually get the flow measurement readings from the Foxboro and the ABB into our AGA3-1 and AGA3-2 measurement tubes. So one of the first things we need to do is we need to go back to our XMV interface, and we need to write down these array registers for differential pressure, static, and temperature. This is for the Foxboro 41205.0.1.2. Same thing for the XMV2 41205, 3, 4, and 5. So those are the numbers for that one. So all we do is we go to our AGA3-1 tube, we go to Advanced Setup, we put the values here, we select Send. Same thing with AGA3-2, go to Advanced Setup, put the proper values in there, press Send, and we should be good to go. To verify this, we can go to our GUI and do a monitor, and we can see those values coming in here into the measurement tube on AGA3-1, AGA3-2. Do the same thing, do a reread, and there's our numbers coming in. This concludes the video. Hope it's been helpful to you. Thanks for listening.